It was winter. The streets were silent, except for the crunch of barefoot steps on frozen dirt. A black man, skin cracked, clothes torn, walked with a small boy in his arms. No home, no food, no future. The boy's belly had stopped growling. Not because he was full, but because it had accepted hunger as normal. They stopped in front of a mansion. White walls, golden lights, trimmed hedges. Everything the man could never give his son. He knocked on the door. A white woman answered. Her perfume was stronger than her compassion. The man bowed his head. Please, I don't want your pity. Just give my boy a chance. Take him in. Let him live. She looked at the boy, then back at the man. Is he clean? I wash him with river water, he said. It's all I can give. She sighed. Fine, but don't expect him to be treated like family. The man hugged his son tightly, whispered something in his ear, then turned and walked away, tears falling into the dark. The boy never saw him again. From that moment, the boy became a shadow in the house. She didn't take him in as a son. She took him in as a houseboy. While her children went to school and played in the sun, he washed dishes, scrubbed floors, and dusted furniture. He was made to mop the entire house before 6 a.m., polish shoes, and iron the children's uniforms. When they were done eating, he cleaned the table, took the trash out, and swept the garage where he slept. One afternoon, after working all day and barely eating, the boy sat down on the living room couch to rest. His body gave up before his mind could, and he fell asleep for just a moment. That's when she saw him. She stormed into the room, rage boiling in her voice. How dare you lie on my couch like you belong here? Before he could explain, she slapped him across the face. Then again, and again. You're not one of us. You're a servant. You sleep in the garage, not the living room. That night, the boy ran away. Barefoot, hungry, and shaking, he wandered the city, slept behind buildings, drank rainwater. But even the streets showed him no mercy. After 3 days, he returned weak, dirty, and silent. The woman didn't say a word. She just tossed him a mop. From then on, he spoke less and listened more. He started watching how the children studied, how they used computers, how they spoke. At night, he read scraps of newspapers, old school books, anything he could find. He found a broken laptop in the trash and learned how to fix it using copper wire and tape. He taught himself to read better, to solve math, to understand computers. But the pain didn't stop. One sunny Saturday afternoon, the woman's children were playing soccer with other neighborhood kids in front of the house. They were laughing, shouting, kicking the ball in the air. The boy watched quietly from the gate. Then he smiled, hopeful, and jogged toward them, asking to join. He barely touched the ball when one of the white boys shouted, "Don't touch that! You'll get it dirty! You're not one of us." Another kicked him in the stomach. He collapsed to the ground, and the other children laughed. "Don't play with him," one of the woman's sons said to the others. "He's not part of us. He's a street rat." The other children backed away from him like he was infected. He lay there in the dirt, holding his side, blinking back tears. He wasn't just unwanted, he was invisible. It didn't end there. When a gold bracelet went missing from the woman's room, she didn't hesitate. "Search the boy's things," she snapped. They tore through the corner of the garage where he kept his few belongings. They scattered his books, broke his only toy, and dumped his school bag. He watched in silence, heart pounding. They didn't find the bracelet. 2 days later, it turned up under her own daughter's bed. But there was no apology. "You probably thought about stealing it," she hissed. "That's just as bad." At 12, he began sneaking out at night. Not to play, but to search for his father. He walked miles through dangerous streets, asking strangers, "Do you know a man who gave away his son?" He wore a brown coat and cried a lot. One night, he returned late. She was waiting with a belt. "Where were you?" "I was looking for my father." She scoffed. "Your father? That broke rat? He probably sleeps in a dumpster. That's where people like him belong." She beat him until he bled, then locked him in the garage without food for 2 days. Still, he endured. He studied. At night, in silence, in pain. He found a broken laptop the school janitor was throwing away. He fixed it using wires and spare parts. He taught himself to code, to build, to dream. A teacher noticed his talent and encouraged him to enter a national coding competition. He used borrowed time in the school's computer lab. He worked in silence. He won. The woman didn't clap. "Enjoy it while it lasts," she muttered. "People like you don't go far." But she was wrong. A scholarship came next, then college, then a startup, one that gave poor black children access to education, mentorship, and opportunity. He slept in libraries, ate stale bread, worked day and night. By 24, he had built a company worth millions. He opened learning centers in inner cities, created mentorship networks for boys like himself, and started a scholarship fund in the name of the father who gave him a way to save him. One day, after speaking at a tech event, he got into a taxi. The driver kept looking at him through the mirror. "You look familiar," the old man said. The young man smiled. "Maybe you saw me on TV." "No," the taxi man replied. "You look like a man I used to know. He used to sit outside a big white house just staring at it. Said he left his son inside and hoped he'd come out one day." The young man froze. "That was my father?" The man nodded sadly. "He passed away a few years ago. Poor man. He never stopped talking about you." Tears welled in the young man's eyes. "Where was he buried?" The taxi driver brought him to a small, quiet graveyard outside the city. Under the shade of a tree was a wooden cross, weathered and cracked. It read, "A father who gave everything." He stepped out of the car with flowers in his hand, white roses. He knelt at the grave, whispering through his tears, "You gave me a way to save me. I never stopped looking for you. And I made it, Daddy. I made it." He placed the flowers gently on the earth, ran his fingers over the name, and stood. Then he walked away, head high, heart whole, because they tried to bury him. But they didn't know. He was a seed. Years passed, and the boy, once thrown scraps and treated like a burden, rose from the ashes. He built a company with the same hands that once begged on the street. He became a CEO respected for his brilliance, compassion, and strength. But fate, oh, it's poetic. One morning, a woman walked into his company. Her eyes were tired, her clothes worn. She clutched a CV in her hand, asking if there were any openings for a cleaning job. When she looked up and saw him, standing tall in the same office she never imagined he'd belong to, her face turned pale. She stammered, "Is it you?" It was her. The woman who once denied him warmth, food, and love. But life had humbled her. She whispered, "I lost everything. My home, my family. I'm not here to ask for pity. I'm just trying to survive. Please, forgive me." Silence filled the room. Then he walked toward her, not with hate, but with grace. He said, "You taught me pain, but you also taught me how not to treat people. I forgive you, and not just that." He turned to his HR assistant. "Get her something better than cleaning. Give her admin duties. She deserves a fresh start too." From a homeless child to a powerful leader, his journey wasn't just about success. It was about healing, forgiveness, and rising without losing your heart. Never underestimate the strength of someone who's been through fire, because sometimes the ones you look down on are the ones you'll look up to tomorrow.